Hello everybody. This presentation will provide an overview of the macro showcase tray and will present the videos that are going to show the macro showcase in action. So the macro showcase tray deals with security aspects within the XIFI infrastructure. As we can see from the news, only a few days ago, there was an hacker attack to the French TV channel TV5 Monde, and this is just one of many, and this basically showed the importance of the security in modern application, and we know that this is becoming more and more a critical concern. Hopefully only in few cases this is a life-critical issue, but in many cases it's a business-critical problem. Indeed, securing our data and application running on this data is essential and can decide about the business success of the services we are going to offer. So also it's interesting to ask how security is perceived by the customers. Indeed, from the customer perspective, often the added value of assuring a certain level of security in being reached might not be perceived generally. On the other hand, when a security issue is present, the impact on the customer perception of the service is generally really negative. And then when it happens, coming back, that is, recovering trust from the customer, cannot be so easy. So that's why it's really important that thinking security has to be done upfront. So that is the winning strategy. Having an infrastructure with built-in security feature upon which we can define good services is then really a strategic point. Then we can ask, is the XIFI infrastructure then good enough? And basically this showcase will demonstrate some of the relevant security features of the XIFI infrastructure, and we can prove against two aspects that are really relevant. One is cyber attacks on the XIFI authentication system, and the other one is to deal with the measure to assure data privacy. Well, in many cases, a trade-off between security measure and aspects related to service usability is generally present. In relation to authentication, for instance, allowing access to a group of users according to an identity federation principle is generally an added value from the service offer point of view, and we can see that is quietly a spread way of performing identity federation, but it can also bring along some security risk. Indeed, when adopting well-proven security protocol as the SAML 2.0, the one that we are using within XIFI, the authentication subsystem can be exposed to denial of service attacks, and it is due to the complexity of the protocol itself. Then, thanks to the coupling with security XIFI monitoring, we can then monitor, detect, and stop these attacks. So the showcase will present how the system reacts to a denial of service attack. Particularly, we can see the attack happening and exploiting feature typical of the identity federation protocol, and the attack will be the target will be the authentication mechanism. It's important to note that we are not speaking about vulnerabilities of the protocol, but rather the denial of service attack is based on the fact that the protocol itself is complex, and then it takes time to elaborate, and then complex elaboration are typically the one that can be exploited for denial of service attacks. Then we will see its detection that is done thanks to the connection with the security dashboard. And then we will see how the attack is blocked in a way that the authentication functionality is not compromised. Another important aspect to take care is the protection of data, so the preserving data privacy. That is a key requirement for almost every application nowadays. And in addition, constraints coming directly from national or international regulation, or maybe given by security policy internal to agencies, different agencies, they can specify that sensitive data can only be stored at specific locations. As an example could be the country of origin of the users. Nevertheless, this data, or anyway the sensible part of it, has to be available for application being physically deployed on different locations. For instance, the country is different from the user country of origin. In addition, transmission of data has to happen only securely. But anyway, this does not to have an impact on the user experience, so it has to work transparently for the user. So then we can ask if the XIFI then can efficiently enable the protection of my data for an application. And this is what we are going to see in the second part of the showcase within this macro showcase, the macro showcase 3. Particularly, we will see two aspects. So the first is how the service is deployed to match location constraints, particularly how the service is easily deployed in a way that logic of the application is present in one data center. So in this case, the Berlin node, and it is node A in this within this picture, while the user sensitive private data is located on another node that is the Trento node, and is node B in this picture. And a second aspect is how access to sensible data is controlled, and particularly how the possibility to have real-time session during network handover between Wi-Fi and LTE network is coupled with the preserving privacy of sensible data, because the access to sensible data from node B, where the data is physically located, is not allowed during the LTE connection is present, because this particular connection is judged not to be secured enough. And then we have a connection constrained access to sensible data that is improving of course the protection of the user data, and is increasing the level of security in terms of privacy. Okay, so that's all for presenting the macro showcase 3, and thanks for listening. Bye.